Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Button Mash Bros. I'm Mykopath.
I'm Samnesia.
And today we are doing the Christmas wrap-up. This is a video dedicated to showing me and Samnesia's 5 best games of the year. Of course, there have been a lot of games, great games, just too many to even talk about, really. But this is going to be our lists. Sam, would you like to say anything extra to that?
Nothing much, just it's been really hard to narrow down 5 games that have been really...
Very hard,
yeah.
Some great indie titles come out this year.
Yeah. AAA titles too.
Yeah.
But we're now down to 5. We've had a heated discussion the last few days, and we are ready to give you guys our top 5.
So,
Mike, would you like to go first?
This will be number 1. My game is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. This game hit Nintendo. Nintendo is on Wii U console, and it was Donkey Kong Country 1 was not bad on the Wii, but yeah, on returns. But this one it felt way more like, I don't know, it felt like more just vibrant and, well, despite the fact that it's actually in snow, but be that as it may, they've actually changed up the enemies. The enemies look looking really good now. They've got some more, whimsical characters other than those little tiki bobbly things that kind of didn't really suit the Donkey Kong. I kind of did semi, but this felt better, like with penguins and walruses, and it was all around. And the graphics were sublime. The levels were fun. There was some really good moments in that. So that's my 5th, and now it is Sam's 5th.
You said 1.
No, that's number 5 on my list of 5.
Oh, okay.
So what's your 5th?
My 5th one is the wacky and colourful Sunset Overdrive. I didn't really hear much about this game. I wasn't too sure what it was. I thought it was like Dead Rising but with aliens instead, but it ended up being something completely different. It was a mashup of Infamous, Dead Rising, Tony Hawk, had the best parkour system I've seen in the game. It's also really funny, something games don't do a lot. Comedy is, I don't see a lot in games, and Sunset Overdrive nailed it. Game was a really colourful looking game, so graphics were amazing. Good showcase of what Xbox One can do. And otherwise, it's pretty much all I can say about it. It's an excellent game, and I really enjoyed it. So well done to Sunset Overdrive.
Alrighty, sweet as. Now we jump into number 4, and number 4th for me on the list was Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. That second Wii U game on my list.
Definitely.
What's really to say about they nailed the gameplay. It is a bit more leaning towards luck now. You can race to your heart's content and be as awesome as possible, and yet one little shell, you're it's horrible. But yeah, no, I love there's a lot of levels to be had. There's they just released some DLC a while ago, and they have more DLC to come out next year, so that will be splendid. And that is why it is my number 4. Samuel.
To my number 4 is a game I wasn't really sure about. It is Titanfall, and Titanfall is obviously an online multiplayer shooter, and I don't like online multiplayer games a lot. Because it lag, I usually get raped, literally, in a way at the start. It takes 2 steps, you're dead. But when I showed Titanfall, that barely happened, and if it did, it was purely my own fault. And plus, when you hit that down arrow on your controller and the standby for Titanfall, it's just an excellent thing to hear, and a million times you hear that, and that Titan just drops in the sky, boom! Oh, it's excellent. When you get that Titan, just charge through the levels. Oh, excellent experience. So well done to Titanfall. It nailed on the multiplayer, and it's got me playing games online again, something I don't really do a lot. So yeah, well done to Titanfall. Number 4.
Number 4, and this one is very recent. It just came out in November, and that is Far Cry 4. A whimsical game, such fun, and my god, how many clips did I upload onto my Facebook profile, my personal one. I didn't really put up anything about that. Yeah, because the technical issues. It didn't. I mean, they had, because of the new graphics, the new systems and stuff. You got grapple hooks, and there's a few other different little bits and pieces they added in for some good fun. But at the same time, the setting wasn't as good for me as Far Cry 3, which was the more tropical, like setting, like the jungle. That's just my cup of tea a bit more. Be that as it may, yeah, I still think Far Cry 4 is a great game and well worth my number 3. Samuel.
So my number 3 is a game I really heard not a lot about. I just picked it up because I like my shooters, and that is the excellent throwback to 90s shooters, Wolfenstein: The New Order. I never played any of the previous Wolfenstein games, so I had no idea what to expect. I thought it would just be pretty much a Call of Duty knockoff. But initially it did seem that way, but once it got on, it took on. The story was great, the graphics were great, guns felt great to fire, plus it had an excellent feature that I really loved. You could dual wield every single weapon in the game. You can get 2 shotguns, 2 sniper rifles, anything, 2 rocket launchers, and just blast people away. It's just, more games need that. Yeah, so pretty brief summary. Well done to Wolfenstein: The New Order. Excellent campaign as well, so I really liked about the most. Yeah, so over to number 2 from my pal.
Number 2, now this was a very hard one. I had to choose between 2 particular games. I'm not going to say the first one because that one wins the out of this, but this is so very close. But my number 2 is going to go to The Evil Within. One of the best horror games I have played to date since Resident Evil 4 back on the GameCube.
Yeah.
It was absolutely splendid. Like the shooting was good. The amount of bullets they gave you was a bit, it was like, come on, give me a few more, please. But they didn't. And that was okay because they did still give you enough. Like it felt, a lot of intense moments, some great backdrops, some of those areas, so good, and just intense as all hell. Like just one of the most. It's even more intense than Resident Evil 4, and that's saying something. So, with that in mind, I give it to Sam.
Yeah, and coincidentally enough, my number 2 also goes to The Evil Within. I love some of survival horror games. They're hard to get right, and this year has been quite a return to survival horror. Along with Evil Within was Alien Isolation, and a couple of other games to name a few, but Evil Within was excellent. Shinji Mikami is excellent horror games. Resident Evil was great. Resident Evil 4 was even better. Evil Within was excellent. It was a bit glitchy as well, but it wasn't too bad. It was still a great game, a great return to survival horror. Very tense, very hard to do. But otherwise, it's an excellent game. So well done to Evil Within. Second best game of 2014, in my opinion.
There we go. All right. Now it is down to the number 1.
The best game of
the
the year.
best game of the year from both of us.
Yeah, for our first opinions.
Yes.
You go first.
My game is Shadow of Mordor. This game is brilliant. Finally, an open world game for the franchise that is just like it hits all the buttons. Like it makes you feel like a shadow of Mordor. I don't really know words, but great. Like the Nemesis system they got going, so like taking down captains and stuff, soldiers, whatever. It's really wonderful, and there's so many. There's also a lot of memorable moments, and I played a lot of hours. And I actually spent a lot of time using the camera function, which was kind of like
photo mode.
Yeah, the camera. The photo mode was just really great. You could pan things, and you get that stab in the gut, and you can just zoom in on your face and like killing someone, and like just particles of blood in the air. Particles of blood. So that's why it is my number 1 for this year, and now.
My number 1 of the year is something completely different. It's a fighting game, of course, but it's not as violent. It is a franchise that, thanks to Mykopath, I would not have got into. It is Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. Now, I went to that game, I had no experience how to play it. I got absolutely nailed at it. As you would have seen in our coverage, I lost it 3 times, but since that recording, I have got a lot better at the game, and I'm really starting to enjoy it, and it's perhaps one of the best fighting games I've ever played. It's a flawless experience. I've not found anything wrong with it, no glitches or anything that makes the game seem unfair or unpolished. It's a fine polished game, and one of the best games on the Wii U right now. So congratulations to Super Smash Bros. On the Wii U. You are Game of the Year for you are Samnesia's Game of the Year.
Yes. And for me,
There's honourable mention. So honourable mentions, we were going to do that, did you say?
Yes, we have a few honourable mentions to give.
Things
that didn't really pass the radar a little bit. But then, I'm not saying didn't really pass the radar, but I'm going to give my honourable mention to Tales from the Borderlands. Now this a Telltale game. Borderlands had been releasing a lot of stuff recently, because they had Borderlands 2 something or other ages ago, but they had also the pre-sequel, which just came out this year also, which is pretty good. But this one was it's like great. You have your choices. Whatever you do, like it could impact on the situation at hand. So I thought that was a really nice little intriguing game. It only takes about 2.5 hours to finish, but for what it's worth, it was good. And also, my other is Oddworld New and Tasty, which I had just downloaded and played the first few areas. It's great. It's basically the old classic Oddworld that I so love, revamped with brand new graphics and a few little new things here and there. So there's a lot of different little bits and pieces to explore, and like then you find I was like, oh, there's a little new part there. That's cool. They pop that in, but they still keep to that exact same layout of the game, and for that it gets an honourable mention.
Okay.
Sam.
For my few honourable mentions, my first one is not even a game. It's a weird looking teaser. It is a PT. I didn't really freak out, as most people. I had no idea what this was. It was popped up on the PlayStation Store as a free download. Just played it. It was really weird and creepy. I had no idea what to do. It was just this weird looping hallway and these creepy noises in the background. It was sort of, you can tell it was this far horror kind of thing. And then creepy stuff happened as you keep going. It gets more and more creepy. And when you finish the game, you get the most surprise I was not expecting. It was a teaser for a new Silent Hill game from this Hideo Kojima who made Metal Gear Solid. So from that alone, I just could not believe that he is making Silent Hill. And some of the things I've seen so far, it's going to be a really scary game. And I think he's even come out and said he wants to make a game that's going to make you shit your pants. He's literally come out and said that. That's his aim he's going for with Silent Hill. So if he lives up to that claim, Silent Hill is going to be amazing when it comes out. I believe it's coming out to 2016, so it's another year away.
Yes.
Sad face, but every worth the wait.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done to PT, Silent Hills, however you want to claim it. And my other one mention is also not a game, it's actually a piece of DLC for my best game of last year, The Last of Us Left Behind. The Left Behind story DLC, which explored Ellie, the young girl who was one of the best video game companions I'd ever seen. Explored her past and some of how she became immune to the virus, which was really interesting and really got you in the feels, as Last of Us has on many occasions. But yeah, so well done to Last of Us Left Behind. It was also some great DLC. So those are my two honourable mentions. And I think we are done for the year, guys.
We are wrapping this up.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to one and all of you who are witnessing this. It's going to be a great year next year. Tons of games to come out.
Yes, so we'll be back in a few weeks for another great year in gaming. And on the topic, shall we talk about some games we're looking forward to next year?
Yes.
Yeah, so you like to go
don't
first?
really have a great deal at the moment because I haven't not known still, like when they're releasing it, they've still got like 2-bit analysis or whatever.
Yeah.
But earlier on, I'm pretty sure January, could be even February, is Resident Evil Revelations 2, which I'm looking for. Also, The Witcher Wild Hunt is looking fabulous. Of course, Mario Kart DLC, which is so far away, it's not funny.
Animal Crossing DLC will be interesting.
Yeah. But there's a ton, but I can't think of them all at this point. But
Mainly for me, it's not it's a great deal. Obviously, Revelations 2, and also the HD remaster of the original Resident Evil, which is coming out in January. That's going to be excellent. Also, while I'm talking about horror games, Dying Light is looking at excellent zombie game. It's from the people who made Dead Island, so that's looking good too. Another game, Batman Arkham Knight. I cannot wait for that game. Batman Arkham games are amazing, and this one you get to drive a Batmobile, so it's going to be epic. And it looks, the graphics going to be epic on the PS4, and Mike is going out of frame. And my final game I can't wait for next year is Uncharted 4. I love the Uncharted games. Naughty Dog of Uncharted games have been excellent on the PS3, and the Uncharted 4 is looking to really push the PS4's capabilities. So it's going to be excellent. I don't know what this guy's doing, but
I'm making myself
going to wrap this up because he's clearly has a sign he's getting bored.
I'm just making myself look interesting on camera rather than just sit there statically.
Yeah.
But yes. So Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you have a great year. Hope you get lots of games.
Yes, we are hoping so too.
And for that, I'm Mykopath.
I'm Samnesia. We are on hiatus for a few weeks. We were back in mid-January for another excellent year of gaming. So until then,
we're out.